Millions of people have eaten Black Forest cake. Almost nobody has eaten the real one. Most people think it's the cherries that make it authentic. Others think it's the chocolate. They're both wrong. The one ingredient that separates a genuine Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte from an ordinary chocolate cherry cake is a clear cherry brandy called Kirschwasser. Leave it out, and German pastry chefs won't even call it Black Forest cake anymore. The authentic recipe is even legally protected across Europe. So who actually invented it? That's where the story gets blurry. One popular theory even reads the cake like a painting chocolate for the forest, cream for snow, cherries for a local hat's red pom-poms. Beautiful story. Nobody can prove it. The better documented claim credits pastry chef Joseph Keller, who said he created it in 1915 near Bonn, though whether he invented it or perfected something older is still debated. What isn't debated is why it conquered the world. It didn't spread beyond Germany until refrigeration became standard after World War II. Before that, cream cakes simply spoiled too fast to ship. And those cherries? Not decoration. Their sharp acidity cuts the richness of the cream and chocolate, so the whole thing doesn't turn sickly sweet. Ironically, most versions sold outside Germany quietly swap the Kirschwasser for cherry syrup close, but according to German bakers, not actually Black Forest cake. The next dessert became famous for something even stranger, a fight over who owned the recipe that ended up in an actual courtroom. Imagine being 16 years old, suddenly responsible for creating dessert for one of Europe's most powerful men. That's exactly what happened in Vienna in 1832, when Chancellor Clemens von Metternich needed a dessert for an important banquet, and his head chef fell ill. The job landed on a teenage apprentice, Franz Sacher, who created a rich chocolate cake layered with apricot jam under a smooth chocolate glaze. The guests loved it. That should have been the end of the story. Instead, it was only the beginning. Years later, a rival Viennese bakery claimed its version was the real one, and the disagreement escalated into one of food history's strangest legal battles, years in court over who could sell the original Sachertorte. Imagine spending years in court over chocolate cake. Hotel Sacher eventually won exclusive rights to the name. The rival bakery kept selling an almost identical cake under a different title. Ironically, the fight only made the cake more famous. The cake itself is deceptively simple. A dense sponge, a thin layer of apricot jam cutting through the chocolate, and a glossy glaze with a faint snap in every slice. In Vienna, it's almost always served with unsweetened whipped cream, purely to soften the glaze's intensity. Nearly 200 years after one nervous teenager saved a royal dinner, people still travel to Vienna just to taste the original. But our next dessert broke almost every rule of traditional baking. It became world famous without ever going into an oven. For a dessert that feels centuries old, tiramisu is surprisingly young. Most historians trace it to northern Italy in the late 1960s or early 1970s, younger than plenty of people watching this. Several Italian regions still argue over who made it first. The name literally means, "pick me up." That's exactly what it was built to do. Espresso, mascarpone, cocoa, sugar part dessert, part caffeine delivery system. Here's the real surprise. A real tiramisu is never baked. Ladyfingers are briefly dipped in espresso, then layered with mascarpone cream too long in the coffee, and they collapse. Too short, and they stay dry. Then it rests for hours, sometimes overnight, while the coffee slowly turns the biscuits into something between sponge cake and mousse. One popular belief also isn't true. Many recipes today call for marsala wine, rum, or coffee liqueur, but some of the earliest documented recipes had no alcohol at all. That came later, and today it depends entirely on local tradition or whoever's making it. One of the world's most famous desserts never needed an oven to earn its reputation. Our next cake took the exact opposite path, and it's more than 2,000 years older than most people would ever guess. New York cheesecake wasn't invented in New York. In fact, it's older than New York itself. Historians believe early cheesecakes date back to ancient Greece, supposedly handed to athletes at the first Olympic Games. But the version everyone knows today exists because of a mistake. In 1872, New York dairyman William Lawrence tried to recreate a French cheese called Neufchâtel and failed, accidentally creating cream cheese instead. That accident became Philadelphia cream cheese, despite having nothing to do with Philadelphia. Without it, New York cheesecake as we know it probably doesn't exist. The recipe itself stays almost stubbornly simple. Cream cheese, eggs, sugar, vanilla, maybe a little lemon. The magic is technique, not complexity. Most bakers cook it slowly in a water bath to keep the filling smooth and prevent cracks. Cracks that don't change the flavor at all. But in New York, appearance still matters as much as taste. Its fame exploded through Jewish delicatessens across 20th century New York. Places like Junior's in Brooklyn turned a single slice into a destination people still cross the city for. Sometimes the world's greatest recipes come from incredible skill. Sometimes they come from getting something completely wrong. Our next cake traveled halfway around the world before becoming famous, and by the time it arrived, it barely resembled where it started. One of Japan's most famous cakes isn't actually Japanese. At least it didn't start that way. More than 450 years ago, Portuguese merchants brought firearms, Christianity, new trade routes, and a simple European sponge cake to Japan. Most countries would have just copied it. Japan reinvented it, stripping out the butter until it became castella. Just flour, eggs, sugar, and syrup, impossibly soft and light. Its permanent home became Nagasaki, one of the only ports open to foreign trade during Japan's centuries of isolation, where some bakeries still make nearly the same recipe today. Castella hides one small detail most people never notice. Flip a slice over, and there's a thin layer of sugar crystals along the bottom, settled and hardened into a faint crunch during baking. A European recipe, quietly perfected in Japan for over 4 centuries. The next dessert has a completely different kind of story. It isn't famous because everyone agrees where it came from. It's famous because nobody does. Ask someone in Australia where pavlova was invented. Then ask someone in New Zealand. Both countries have claimed it for more than a century. It's named after Russian ballerina Anna Pavlova, who toured both countries in the 1920s, and somewhere around that visit, the recipe appeared. Exactly where, nobody's ever proven, and the argument still hasn't stopped. What everyone agrees on is the texture, a shell that shatters like glass around something soft and marshmallow-like inside. That comes from little more than whipped egg whites and sugar overbeat it, and it dries out. Underbeat it, and it collapses. Even humidity can ruin it. Moisture in the air softens that crisp shell fast, which is why fruit and cream go on only moments before serving. One ballerina, 2 countries. An argument that still hasn't found a winner. Our next cake became famous for doing something that sounds physically impossible, getting soaked with so much liquid that it should fall apart. If someone told you the secret to this cake was pouring almost a liter of milk over it, you'd assume they'd ruined dessert. Instead, they created one of Latin America's most beloved cakes. Tres leches means exactly what it sounds like: 3 milks. After baking, the sponge is soaked in evaporated milk, condensed milk, and heavy cream. It looks like far too much liquid. It isn't the sponge is packed with microscopic air pockets that pull the mixture in without collapsing the structure. The real mystery is where it came from Mexico and Nicaragua, both claim it, and nobody's settled the argument. One repeated theory points to a marketing department, not a bakery. Canned milk companies allegedly printed the recipe on their labels to sell more milk. True or not, it spread across Latin America fast. Unlike rich European butter cakes, its richness comes from moisture, not fat. Creamy, nearly caramel-like, yet still light. Few desserts transform this completely once they leave the oven. But our final cake didn't just transform. It solved a problem that had frustrated pastry chefs for centuries. Before refrigerators existed, cake had a serious problem. It didn't stay fresh. Cream spoiled. Buttercream softened. Transporting anything elaborate was nearly impossible. One Hungarian pastry chef decided to fix that. In 1885, József Dobos unveiled something nobody had seen before. Layer upon layer of delicate sponge, rich chocolate buttercream, and on top, a sheet of glossy caramel. Most people assume the caramel is purely decorative. It wasn't originally. That hardened shell acted as a seal, keeping the cake fresh far longer than any cream-filled dessert of the era. Before refrigeration, that was genuinely revolutionary. Even cutting it required its own technique. Slicing hardened caramel straight through can shatter it. So pastry chefs cut it into wedges first, then placed them back on top one by one. The cake caught on almost immediately. Even Emperor Franz Joseph I and Empress Elizabeth reportedly tasted it at that same exhibition. Its influence outlasted Dobos, stacking thin sponge layers with buttercream, completely normal today, was groundbreaking back then. Many elegant layer cakes trace their DNA back to one practical fix for a storage problem. Sometimes the world's greatest desserts aren't created to satisfy a craving. Sometimes they're created to solve a problem, and that's exactly what makes all 8 of these cakes so fascinating. Behind every famous slice is a story, a lucky accident, a centuries-old rivalry, or an idea clever enough to change baking forever.